This happened every night. Every night at exactly 3:11, the same girl would appear on the stairs of the old Victorian house at the end of the street. The girl was always dressed in white. She wore a long white dress that flowed down to her ankles and a white bonnet that covered her face. But the most disturbing thing about her was that she had no eyes. Her eye sockets were empty, black and soulless. She would walk down the stairs slowly and deliberately, taking her time to savor the moment. Then she would stop on the last step and stare directly at the person who was watching her. She would stand there for what seemed like an eternity, her lifeless eyes boring into their soul, until they could take it no longer and ran inside to hide. And that's when the footprints appeared. At first, they thought it was their imagination, just another trick of the flickering gas lamp that illuminated the landing outside their bedroom window. But no, the footprints were real. They were wet and cold to the touch, and they spelled out one word: leave. At first, they tried to ignore it. After all, it was just a prank, right? Who would go through the trouble of climbing down a water spout and then leaving creepy messages on the pavement outside their house? But the footprints kept appearing every night, and the couple started to get scared. The girl's eyes were haunting. They could still see the remnants of fear and sadness in them, even though they couldn't see the whites or the pupils. It was like looking into a bottomless pit, and it made them feel uneasy. They tried everything to get rid of the footprints. They scrubbed them away with a brush and a bucket of water, but they always came back. They even tried covering the pavement with sand. But the next morning, the footprints were still there. It was like the girl was taunting them, daring them to try and stop her. Then one night they got fed up and decided to confront the girl. They went out onto the landing and called out to her, demanding to know who she was and what she wanted from them. But the girl didn't answer. She just stood there staring at them, her eyes burning into their souls. And then she moved. She took a step forward and pointed to herself, and they saw the word "me" spelled out on her chest. Then she pointed to the house, and they saw the word "here" written on the door. Finally, she pointed to the footprints and spelled out "help." The couple was stunned. They had been so focused on the creepy aspects of this nightly ritual that they had failed to consider that the girl might actually need their help. But why? Why was she trapped in this house? And why did she keep coming back every night? They followed the girl back into the house and up the stairs to the second floor. There they found a locked room with a barred window, and as they watched, the girl pressed her face against the glass, her eyes wide and pleading. The couple didn't know what to do. On one hand, they felt sorry for the girl and wanted to help her, but on the other hand, they were scared of whatever entity was haunting her. Just then, the girl turned and pointed to a dusty old keyhole. The Woman Rum family searched everywhere for a key that might fit, and finally the husband found one in an antique shop. When they returned, the door swung open and the girl vanished. They entered the room to find a diary. They opened it and began to read the story of the girl trapped in the house. The diary entries told of a young woman named Eliza who had been cursed by a jealous witch. The curse caused her to wander the earth every night, unable to find peace or rest. The only way to break the curse, the diary said, was to perform a ritual using a special key, but the witch had hidden the key, and Eliza had spent her immortal life searching for it. The husband and wife were horrified. They realized that they had been given a chance to help Eliza, but they had been too scared to do anything. Now she would be doomed to wander the earth forever. But then the wife had an idea. She told her husband to write a message to Eliza, thanking her for choosing their house to rest her head every night. They left the note on the pillowcase where they found the diary, along with a small gift. The next night, the girl appeared on the stairs, but she wasn't alone. With her was a little girl, and behind her walked a beautiful woman. Eliza, the diary, and the footprints had all vanished. From that day forward, the couple never saw the ghost girl again. But sometimes at night, when the wind is just right, they can hear the faint sound of laughter echoing from the old Victorian house at the end of the street.